It's and being smart means what you're wearing, it's your perfect size. It's not overly big, it's not too small. That's what we're talking about. So you need to wear that. Now, your next to your dressing will be the clothing accessories. Your accessories are just as important as your clothing. It's important to pay attention to your accessories and why an accessory is very important. Number one, let me begin with the ladies. I know that you like all the accessories, you like chains, you like gold and all of that. Some of you do, some of you don't. And you also like the wig and everything. Somebody has said that there is nothing God has given to a woman that she has not changed. So why do you as a man think that you can impress a woman? God gave them eyebrows, they scraped it, they drew their own. God gave them hair, they scraped it, they put their own. Every other thing they are, so as a man, don't even just kill yourself. That's, I mean, if they cannot impress God, how can, if God does not impress them, how can you impress them? So that's just by the way. It's important to pay attention to your accessories. Don't become too loud, don't become too bogus, don't become too flamboyant or flashy when you show up for any meeting at all. Your makeup should be moderate. I know some people like makeup, some people don't. So whichever one you're doing, just make sure that you look more. Even if you don't like makeup, if your face is always too oily, dab it and use powder. At least powder is not basic, powder is not excessive makeup. Dab your face, use powder. You should know your skin texture by now. Then, even if you don't want to use it, if you go to TV stations, for example, whether you like it or not, in most cases, when you go to TV stations, before you go on air, the makeup artist will always be in the studio. And just in case you don't know, many standard TV stations have an in-house makeup artist. And before you go before the camera, they will dab your face and put minimum powder on your face so that your face does not contrast the screen and the cameras when you come in front of the screen. So that's the basic you can do. The other thing is, don't let your jewelry be too excessive, loud, clinging jewelry and all of that. It can be very distracting. It becomes the noise for you when you are actually doing a presentation. So it's very important for you to make sure that you do not wear excessively loud, excessive jewelry that is very excessive. Wear something nice, wear something decent. As a rule of thumb, I would always advise people to look at the President of the United States and the First Lady, or the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom or Britain and the First Lady as well. You would never go wrong trying to imitate them when you look at both of them. If you look at some of these first ladies, or maybe the queen when she was alive, maybe a black dress, a silver jewelry like a pearl. Look at the former vice president of the United States. Now, you notice that everything is always moderate yet corporate. And you need to understand that simplicity is class, not overdoing it, not underdoing it. Simplicity is just class. And for me, simplicity is a watchword. You can look very simple and still very expensive, yet you're able to pass across your message. I can't imagine a situation where you go on stage and because of what you're looking like or what you're wearing, people aren't able to focus on your presentation. They're looking more at you as a person, and they're constantly focusing on maybe your chain, your jewelry, maybe you have a pendant on your chest and it's too loud. Take for example, maybe as a lady, you're exposing your cleavage, then you have a pendant dropping down into your cleavage and you have quite a number of them, and we want to give you a lapel mic. What do you think will happen to the person that even wants to mic you by the time you're going on stage? Or how do you think the other people would be able to focus? We are projecting you on a large LED screen, not just on a projector, a large LED screen in an auditorium of maybe like 5,000, 10,000 people. Where do you think the eyes of everyone would be? You have given us something to focus on aside your presentation. And even for a gentleman, you're going to wear a belt. A belt is an accessory. So most times, gentlemen don't have too many accessories to wear. So your belt is an important accessory. That's why your belt has to be looking really good and nice. If you have one of those belts that you've had for almost 10 years, you're one of those people that pride yourself in using stuff for a very long time. It's one thing to be proud about using items for a very long time. Is another thing for that item to still have validity when you're still keeping it. Is your belt already crying or shedding tears? What do I mean by belt shedding tears? It already has several lines, multiple lines, and all of that. You call it bleaching, but your belt is weeping. So if your belt is shedding tears of lamentations, it's time to replace those belts that are already weeping and lamenting, like what we call, the Yorubas will call Ekun Jeremiah. It's time to go and check or change those belts. Then the other thing is, for a gentleman, your wristwatch is also your accessory. You cannot wear a wristwatch that is not nice looking. We don't wear gold, we don't wear jewelry, and even if you wear chains and all of that, by the time you knot a tie and have a shirt on, those would have covered your chain. So your wristwatch is an accessory. That's why it's very important to wear a wristwatch that is nice looking and very neat. Again, I'm a lover of wristwatches, and I can tell you that wristwatches also do not have to be nice. They don't have to be very expensive to be nice looking. The most important thing you want to achieve is that it looks nice, it looks clean. I've worn wristwatches before that aren't so expensive, and people assume that, man, this must be so huge, it must be so expensive, and they're asking me for the price of the amount of the wristwatch because they think that this is an expensive wristwatch, yet it is not an expensive wristwatch. So it's important, don't wear a wristwatch with a chain that we can see your sweat all over the wristwatch. Your sweat has changed the color of the wristwatch. It's time to change that chain. You're wearing a leather, again, like as I said about the belt, the leather of your watch is also weeping. Go and change the leather to something very nice. Spend a little fortune. At least if you want to wear a really decent watch, minimum maybe like 15 to 20K these days, you get a very decent watch that you can wear for a while. Or you can switch to smart watches, which is even really good because they are rubber straps and they won't be whipping after a while. So wear something really nice. If you're going to wear wristbands, don't wear a wristband that makes you look like a herbalist. Wear a wristband that makes you look like somebody who is a hippie. Wear a wristband that makes you look like somebody who is trendy, somebody who is nice. You shouldn't wear a wristband and we're asking ourselves, should we run, should we stay, should we call for help? Or you wear a wristband, you show up and we're almost shouting blood of Jesus, and we know that you're not from a royal family. So why are you wearing this kind of wristband that makes you look like a herbalist or somebody who is an Ifa priest or Ifa worshiper? That's something that you need to pay attention to. There's a difference between being trendy and looking like an ancestor.